So, good morning and welcome to today's 30-minute Yin Yoga class. I am Kate. Today, if you'd like to put some tunes on while we practice our Yin Yoga, please do so. Listen to your bodies, practice mindfully. So, with Yin Yoga, it's a bit different than your Hatha flow or power flows. We're really wanting to allow all of the muscles to drop the tension so that we can use either props or, in today's case, gravity to assist in deepening a stretch through our connective tissues. So, that being the fascia of the muscles, the tendons, and the ligament. So, for today's class, we are going to start sitting on the mat and we're going to separate our legs nice and wide. And as we sit here, we're going to sit up nice and tall. So we're going to actually engage the muscles, engage the hip flexors to allow us to sit up nice and tall. And we're just going to gently move the knees up and down, just feeling the muscles work. And then when you rest the legs, just allowing them to drop. We want the feet to fall forward naturally with gravity. And then we want to start to walk the hands out in front. And as we walk the hands out in front, gravity will start to pull the upper body forward. You can release the tension out of the hip flexors and just allow the upper body to hang. So here you can allow the head to drop. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. So if you have really tight hamstrings and you're struggling with leaning forward, you can sit against a wall. So by sitting against the wall, it'll help prop you upright. So you can really just allow the shoulders to roll forward and the chin to drop to the chest. And so taking a few deep breaths. So we're going to start to bring the mind into the body, releasing any thoughts that we're holding on to this morning. Anything that was on the mind before you started this class, allowing it to drift away. You can visualize the thought in a helium balloon and allow yourself to release it, allowing it to float up into the sky, where you can imagine it dissolving. We're going to start to tap into our senses to bring ourselves into the moment. Noticing what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can taste. You can have the eyes open with a soft gaze, or you can allow them to shut. Noticing the shadows and the light that flickers across the eyes. And then we're going to tap into what we can feel. So what we can physically feel, the body's points of contact with the mat or with the floor, the texture you can feel beneath the fingertips, your clothing against your skin. And then we're going to move to what we feel internally, noticing our muscles, our joints, noticing the sensations within the body, noticing where you can feel the stretch, noticing if you're holding any tension in the muscles and allowing that to drop. And you'll begin to notice the longer we hold the pose, the deeper you fall into the stretch. The connective tissues start to creep and the body starts to fold. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly begin to walk the hands back towards you, lifting up through the chest. You can gently roll the shoulders here. You can bend through the knees, through the ankles, drawing the feet back together. You can move the knees from side to side, releasing through the hips. Once you've released the tension, we're then going to fold the legs. First the left, followed by the right. So the first option is just to fold them with the right in front of the left. Second option is to place the right on top of the left. So if your right knee is elevated, you can place a pillow underneath the right knee just to support it until we start to creep into that positioning. So taking a deep breath in, lifting up through the chest. So once again, engaging those hip flexors. You can place the hands on the knees, opening through the chest, pulling the belly button forward. Deep breath in. And then on your next inhale, we're going to slowly walk the hands out in front. So again, collapsing the body over the legs. If the hips are tight here as well, you can also go to the wall to sit against the wall. And so in this stretch, as our right leg's on top, it stretches the outside. So from the glute, stretching down the ITB, that tendon, towards the knee. You might feel it in the hips. And so dropping the elbows down towards the mat, dropping the chin to the chest, making sure the sit bones stay down on the mat and you don't start to creep forward. Tapping into what you can feel, scanning the body, searching for any tension being held in the muscles. Allowing the tension to drop, allowing the arms to hang from the shoulders, the head to hang from the neck, allowing the upper body to surrender to gravity, folding over the legs. If you're having trouble keeping the mind present, you can also engage the breath. You can count the in-breath and the out-breath. As we're looking to relax the body, we're wanting the out-breath to be longer than the in-breath. And as we exhale, allowing the body to drop further, releasing tension. Feeling the right hip as it opens and stretches. One more breath here. And then slowly walking the hands back towards the legs, lifting up through the chest. Before we unwrap the legs, we're just going to gently turn to the left, taking the right hand to the left knee, twisting and looking behind. And back to center and to the left. Sorry, and to the right, taking the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind, and back to center. And now we're going to slowly unwrap the legs, first the right and then the left. You can gently massage them. You can move through the ankles, through the knees, And you can gently take the knees from left to right. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. So folding the legs, first the right and then the left. So first option is just to sit with the legs folded, left in front of right. Second option is to place the left on top of the right. So again, holding the knees, sitting up nice and tall, engaging those hip flexors or the psoas muscle. Lifting up, shoulder blades down the back, pressing the belly button forward. Deep breath in. And then on your next out breath, we're going to walk the hands out in front, collapsing the upper body over the legs, allowing the elbows to drop down towards the mat, this time stretching mainly through the left hip. So chin dropping to the chest, upper body collapsing over the hips. So with Yin Yoga, we look to help balance out the yang of life. So yin and yang work cohesively together, opposites, but they work in harmony. With the hustle of life, we can get busy with to-do lists, with jobs, with cleaning, cooking, even with some of our fun activities. It's important to then balance those out with yin activities such as yoga, meditation. Allowing a stillness of the mind and of the body. Restoring balance. Using the breath to help you drop any tension out of the muscles. Allowing the connective tissue of the hip to stretch. Breathing through any discomfort. Being present in the moment. One more breath here. And then slowly walking the hands back towards the body, lifting up through the chest. Before we unwrap the legs, we're going to twist to the right, so left hand onto right knee, looking behind, lengthening through the spine. And back to center and to the left. And back to center, straightening through the left leg, followed by the right. And just releasing the tension through the legs. So massage, gentle movement, the ankles, the knees, or moving the knees from side to side to release through the hips. Next, we're going to tuck the feet to one side and coming over into tabletop. So tabletop is one of our foundational poses. We're wanting to make sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Wanting to make sure that the hands are shoulder width apart and the knees are hip width apart and that there's a straight neutral spine. We're going to gently move through 3 cat-cows. So dropping the belly as you breathe in, lifting up through the crown of the head, arching through the back. As you exhale, drawing the belly button to the spine, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone and the chin. Inhale, dropping the belly, feeling the spine as it's warming up, noticing any sensations, connecting the body to the breath, allowing the space as you breathe in, and then drawing the belly button to the spine to expel all of the air. And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're now going to drop down onto our elbows. We're wanting to make sure that the hips stay elevated over the knees. We're going to place the hands down on the mat, and we're going to gently start to walk the hands away, making sure that we're looking up towards the hands. So this stretch is going to stretch through the shoulders, but depending on your flexibility, you can either place the forehead, the chin, or the chest down onto the mat to look towards the fingertips. This also opens through the throat and the heart chakras. Taking a few deep breaths in, dropping that chest closer to the mat with each out breath. Observing where you can feel the stretch, the texture of the mat, any tension that you're holding in the body, allowing it to drop and release. Observing where your thoughts are. If your mind's with you, present. Two more breaths here. And then slowly walking the hands back, coming onto the elbows, up onto the hands. You can gently lift up, sitting on the knee, sitting on the heels, and you can roll the shoulders here. Just releasing through the upper back. And then when you're ready, coming back into tabletop. We're now going to take the knees out as wide as the mat, joining the big toes together, sitting back onto the heels into child's pose. But as you walk the hands out in front, we're just going to lift up through the arms. We're going to take the right hand, sliding it underneath the left. We're going to drop the right shoulder down to the mat, placing the head on the mat as well. You can then drop all the tension out of the muscles, out of the shoulders in particular. So feeling the body as it drops closer to the mat. The hips drop closer to the heels. Feeling the body as it surrenders. Noticing the sounds that you can hear. Noticing the sensations within the body, the rhythm of your breath. And then pressing into the left hand, we're going to gently slide the right back out in front, taking the left hand underneath the right side of the body, dropping the shoulder and the head down on the mat. And then allowing the body to settle here. Taking a few deep breaths as you drop all the tension out of the shoulders. The hips dropping a little lower. Observing the stillness of the mind and the body. One more breath here. Pressing into the right palm, sliding the left out in front, and then lifting back up into tabletop, drawing the knees back in underneath the hips. You can gently move from side to side here, releasing through any tension in the shoulders and the hips. You might like to move through some cat-cow poses, dropping the belly down to the mat, lifting up through the crown of the head. Tucking the belly button in as you exhale. Moving through the shoulders. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Crossing the ankles. Sitting back onto the sit bones. And here we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So with butterfly or with side angle, what we usually do is we try to draw the feet in nice and close. With this pose, we're going to leave the feet out a little bit further away from the hips, gently moving through the knees, releasing any tension that you're holding in the hips. Sitting up nice and tall so you can hold the shins, pulling the belly button forward. And then we're going to slowly walk the hands out in front. So dropping the upper body over the hips. Dropping the chin to the chest. A few deep breaths, allowing the arms to hang from the shoulders. Giving the upper body space to fold. Observing where you can feel the stretch. Allowing the mind to drop into the body. Scanning for tension. Starting with the crown of the head, you can relax the forehead and the jaw, relaxing the neck, the shoulders and arms, traveling your awareness down each vertebrae, all the way to the hips, down both legs, knees, ankles, feet and toes. Taking a breath and allowing the body to melt closer to the mat. One more breath here. And then slowly walking the hands back towards you, lifting up through the chest. Joining the knees together. We're going to gently move them from side to side, releasing through the hips. And then we're going to straighten through both legs, moving through the knees, through the ankles. Taking a deep breath in, lifting up through the chest, allowing the legs to fall, the feet to fall forward. And we're going to slowly fold the upper body over the legs. So you can hold on to the ankles or the shins, or you can place your hands down beside the mat. If the hamstrings are tight, you can go to the wall again, leaning against the wall and allowing the shoulders and the head to roll forward. So releasing all the tension through the hip flexors here, through the thighs. Just allowing gravity to pull the upper body forward. Feeling the body as it softens, the fold as it deepens. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Feeling the space the air takes up in the lungs. And feel the fold as it deepens as you exhale. One more breath here. And then slowly walking the hands back towards you, lifting up through the chest. You can bend through the knees and the ankles, just relieving any tension. You can move the knees from side to side. And then come back to a seated position. And so that concludes today's 30-minute Yin class. If you guys would like to, you're more than welcome to enter a Shavasana or a little meditation. And I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for joining me.